Guys, I don't know what's going on, but the chances of Rerir becoming playable keep getting higher and higher. In fact, at this point, it's almost confirmed. It's pretty insane, so without wasting any time, let's get right into it and let me show you guys what exactly is going on and why I'm so sure about this. Alright, so yesterday, they revealed the new chibi sticker set for version 6.2, and if you take a closer look at it, you might realize something. Take a very close look. Do you notice something weird about this? Yep, you saw that right. We're actually getting a sticker of Rerir in version 6.2. Now, why is this sticker so important? Well, it's pretty simple. If you look at all of the in-game stickers we received in the past, you will notice a very specific pattern. Every single character that receives a sticker ends up being playable. And I'm not talking about stickers of like random NPC mobs. I'm talking about stickers of human-looking characters that have an actual purpose in the story. And when it comes to those characters, every single one of them has an in-game sticker. There's not a single sticker of an NPC or character that's not playable. It just doesn't exist. Now, before some of you guys start bringing up Capitano, I know he has a sticker and he's not playable yet, but he will be playable in the future. There is so much evidence of him becoming playable, it's really just a matter of time. And the sticker that he has in-game is just part of the evidence as well. And I think the same thing applies to Rerir, except that this time it's a little bit more complicated, but I'll go more into detail on that later. The point is, this sticker is currently the biggest indicator we have of him becoming playable. Once again, I'm talking about in-game stickers here because those are the only ones that truly matter. The reason why I keep saying this is because a lot of people will say, Signora has a sticker too, even though she's not playable. But the problem with that argument is she has a sticker outside of Genshin and not one inside the actual game, which is why she's not playable. If she had one in-game, she would have been a playable character. But that whole sticker thing aside, there's a lot of other indicators that are pointing towards him being playable, like his specific kind of drip marketing and the fact that he has a playable model. The only problem is he didn't pass the Albedo test yet, and this is where it slowly starts to get complicated. If you're into leaks, you probably know what it is, but in case you don't, it's essentially a test where they place Albedo's flower under a character, and if that character gets lifted upwards by the flower and falls off the flower, it means that it's a playable character. If they float in the air instead of falling off of it, it means they're an NPC. This means that if Rerir would float in the air after getting lifted by Albedo's flower, it would mean that he doesn't have the model of a playable character yet. The problem is, he's not falling off the flower and he's not floating in the air either. He's just not affected by it at all for some reason, even though he's listed as a character with a playable model in the data files of the game. Obviously, this doesn't make any sense, so what exactly is going on here? The only way we could possibly explain this is that he wasn't affected by his flower because this test was performed during a dialogue cutscene. So maybe that's why Albedo's flower didn't affect him? I'm really not sure. As you guys can see, it's incredibly confusing. And on top of that, there's actually another problem that causes a lot of people to be more skeptical. Unlike Capitano, Rerir doesn't have a playable ID yet, and he also has an undefined weapon at the moment. But to be honest, I don't think it's that important right now. Dainsleeve doesn't have a playable ID yet either, and he's been confirmed to be playable for ages now, so just because Rerir doesn't have one yet, it doesn't mean he can't be playable. Like, I don't get why some people are acting like this is the end of the world or something. And as for the undefined weapon part, this one is even more confusing than the Albedo test, especially because we literally saw his weapon in the Archon quest. I don't know if they're planning to give him a completely new weapon once he returns for the final boss fight, or if they will keep the current one, because honestly the current one is pretty fire. It seems to be a polearm and it has this like moon-shaped design which looks really fire, bro. I really like it. And speaking of how he looks during his boss fight, I've seen so many people say that he's too tall to be playable because he's literally like twice as tall as Lumine. but I think this is just another one of those arguments that just don't make any sense. Obviously, they're not gonna release him in this exact form if he becomes playable. They can either change the way his playable model is going to look like, or they can just take the current one and make it slightly smaller so it has a similar size to Varka, for example. And for those who think he can't be playable because he's too tall or because he's too evil, just watch my last video I made on him and you'll understand why those arguments don't really make any sense. Anyway, assuming he does become playable, when exactly is that going to happen, and what should we expect realistically? I have two theories. Either he becomes playable at the end of Not Cry as the 17th character, or he becomes playable in the next region, which is going to be Snezhnaya. I'ma be honest, the current situation we have with him kind of reminds me of Skirk. They revealed Skirk way back in Fontaine, and she became playable at the end of Natlan. So maybe Rerir will be playable at the end of Snezhnaya, cause they revealed him at the start of Not Cry. I don't know about you guys, but to me that makes a lot of sense. And as I said, they could also release him as the 17th character at the end of Not Cry, but the reason why I don't think this is gonna happen is because he doesn't have a playable ID yet, and his weapon is still undefined. It doesn't have to mean anything, but I just think if he would actually be released at the end of Not Cry, they would already have a playable ID and a weapon for him in the data files of the game. Especially because Capitano already had these things at the very beginning of Natlan, so the fact that Rerir doesn't have it yet is kind of weird. But as I said, it doesn't mean he's not playable. The only thing this tells us is that he will most likely be released in either Snezhnaya or Khaenri'ah. Overall, looking at everything we have about him so far, the chances of him becoming playable are almost like 99%, especially because of the sticker. I don't think they would focus all the Archon quests around him, give him a sticker, give him an extra drip marketing just to not make him playable. It just doesn't make any sense. If they're going to put that much effort into him, there must be a reason for that. Now, before we end the video, if you're looking for more information on Rerir and don't want to miss out on any new Genshin leaks, make sure to join my Discord, the link is in the description. And one more thing before we end the video, my next video is going to be about Columbina, and we're going to be looking at everything we know about her so far. We're going to be analyzing her potential kit and abilities and everything else, so just so you guys know, that's the plan for now. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the current Rerir situation down below in the comments. Make sure to check out my other video I made on him if you haven't yet, and as always, I wish everyone a nice and wonderful day.
Why won't you just let us go? We don't even know each other. All we want is to live ordinary, peaceful lives.
You want to live?
Yes. I just want to go on living. Is that really such an unforgivable crime?